Very good morning to all the dignitaries, faculties, professionals, and my dear students who have joined and who are even joining to the Career Opportunities and Pathway webinar series, jointly organized by Victoria University, Uganda, and Ganpat University, India. Victoria University is one of the best universities in Uganda and stands out as center of academic excellence, offering fresh and intellectually stimulating environment that nurtures critical thinkers. The Career Opportunities and Pathway webinar series is yet another innovative initiative taken by Victoria University, providing one of the best professional development opportunities and help student professionals as well as executives to explore possibilities. Ones that goes in the tandem of their own respective skills and abilities. We have today joined with us many eminent people. We welcome all the dignitaries from both the university, Victoria University and Ganpat University, who have joined us today. Moving further, I take this opportunity to invite Dr. Satyen Parikh sir, Executive Dean of Faculty of Computer Application, Ganpat University. Dr. Parikh is an academician in field of computer science, having more than 21 years of experience. Presently, he is engaged for development of university at different capacities of roles. As an executive dean, key responsibilities include development and implementation of academic strategic planning. He is holding deanship in Faculty of Computer Application, Ganpat University from last 4 terms, that is since 2008 till date. And he avails opportunity to contribute and establish 14 UG PG integrated academic programs in computer science and applications as well as interdisciplinary courses. He has contributed to collaborate and scale up course curriculum in line with industry need. As a professor and head, he acts as an academician, administrator, managing Computer Institute, having more than 70 staff, and managing education delivery of more than 1,500 students at Ganpat University. As a professor, he is presently guiding to 8 students for their research work. 3 students have already been awarded PhD degree under his guidance, and 3 are in advanced state of research. An author of 67 research papers in 5 book chapters. We invite you, sir, to please address the audience. Please, sir.
Thank you, Remy. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank both the teams, Team VU and Team Ganpat University, for conducting such a kind of wonderful work webinars, particularly in the area of career opportunities and pathways. In this series, today we are going to explore the further details in the area of advanced Android application development. Yesterday, we have seen the basic Android application development where Dr. Hiral Patel demonstrated that how one can easily develop the advanced basic Android applications like YouTube or Facebook, Instagram. So she has given just a small demonstration where you can develop a calculator, but at further level, when you join the course of basic Android application, you can be able to develop the basic applications in the Android programming. Today, one step ahead, we have Dr. Chetan Gondalia. He is very good practitioners in Android application development, and he has capability to make you expert in the area of Android application development. So, without wasting much time, uh, I would like to invite Dr. Chetan to start the session, and I'm sure that after attending this session, you will have the confidence that how one can develop the advanced Android applications. And once you join this course, then definitely you have exposure, and at the end, you will be able to develop the advanced Android applications. So, with these words, let me thanks all of you to listen me patiently. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Uh, Hello everyone. Good morning to all of you. Today, in Career Opportunity and Pathway webinar series, today we talk about advanced Android application development, where we can see how we can develop advanced level Android application in this webinar. So, first of all, I want to ask you one question that do you know basic Android application development? So I request Hiral ma'am, please raise the board. Okay, madam, thank you.
Yes.
So all students are requested to select any option from the available in the
Yeah.
poll.
Yeah, sir. Sir, 100% given the answer to them.
Okay, can you
Just
save
wait.
the?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, sir. 4 to 5 minutes. Yeah. 55% know the basic Android and 45% gives no, sir. Okay.
okay,
Now I am
oh,
ending the poll.
okay. Thank you, ma'am. Don't worry, students. If you don't know about basic Android development, today we will start from the scratch and we will develop advanced level Android application in Android. First of all, we will see what are the advanced popular application are available in market. So these are the popular app which are available in today's market in Play Store. And if you see Google in our mobile, so Google have one tab called Discover in our mobile, where you can see it will display different blogs related on our activity. Say for example, if you are searching in a Google anything, like for any tutorials for any subjects or anything finding, so what Google do, Google keep a track of that your searching activity, and based on that activity Google will display a relevant blog or sites which is available in Discover tab in the mobile. So this is a machine learning concept of that are Google are using for that. Same way we have Facebook and WhatsApp. If you see in Facebook, if you post any like new born baby, and day after tomorrow you will see a advertise of diaper in your Facebook page. So this is a text mining concept that is used by Facebook. And if you want to learn any video tutorial from the video, then you can use YouTube. And if you want to express your views on the Twitter, then you can use Twitters. So these are the famous application nowadays. Most of people are using it, and these application have used advanced level concept in the designing the layout and the applications. Okay. So moving forward, now we will start our topics. So today's topic is intent. Yesterday, Hiral Madam have talked about what is Android, which are the versions of Android, and architecture of Android, and different component of Android that we have to use for the building any Android application. At last, yesterday we have built a one basic calculator application where we will see we have to input a two number like number one and number two, and based on button click we will display the answer like addition, subtraction, and multiplication and division. So same way, for example, if you develop an application where we have more than one activity, like more than one screen. So like in WhatsApp, you see first we display a list of contact. Whenever you click on any contact, it will display a detailed view. So in same way, in Android, if you have built any application where we have a different activity or different screen, and if you want to move from one activity to another activity, then we have to use intent. So this is the first use of the intent. Whenever you want to navigate from one activity to another activity, then we have to use intent. You see in a figure, whenever you click me button, it will move to the next activity where we have a message. This is the second activity. So now we will implement this type of application, that how we can develop this type of application where we have two activity, and whenever we click on a button, we want to navigate from one activity to the next activity. So for that, just open an Android Studio. Okay, this is a first dialog box. Whenever you open an Android Studio, it will display. Now, for example, if you want to create a new application, then just click on a Start New Android Studio Project. Just click it. And next step, we have, you see, inbuilt demo is available. So Google will provide this inbuilt demo. For example, if you want to create an application of drawer, then there is a already drawer application is provided by Google. You just use it, create it, and you have to customize based on your requirement. Like same way, if you want to create any map application, the same way, Google Map demo application is provided by Google. You have to just change the relevant setting, change the layout in the demo, and you can build your own customized app. But in this, we have to not use any inbuilt demo. We just use the empty activity. uh, then just click on the next. In next step, we have to give the application name like intent demo. So we just give the name intent demo. Then we have to select the location where we want to save this project. So I already select a location where I want to save this application. Next, language. Currently, there are two languages available for Android development: Java and Kotlin. So I am using Java for this webinar. So just select the Java. Next is minimum SDK. So this is important. Here you have to select a minimum OS in which you want to run your application. So for example, if you select here 5.0 Lollipop, then your application will not run less than 5.0 OS. You have to run your application above the 5.0 or in a 5.0 OS. So here you have to consider your in minimum OS in which you want to run your application. Then just finish. So meanwhile, it will take some time to build a application. So I request Hiral ma'am to raise a poll too.
Sure, sir. Yes, your poll in your screen, that is, if you want to navigate from one activity to another.
Hiral ma'am, your voice is low.
Yeah. Now, ma'am, is
Clear,
it?
clear.
Yeah,
Very much audible.
yeah. Dear participants, you have a screen. If you want to navigate from one to another activity, then which class is used? Just choose your option as per your knowledge and understanding. So we'll get the idea. Yes, 22% have voted. Yes, choose your option. Yes, 41% just voted, and the right answer is what? Intent. We can use intent for just make a communication between the activity from one to another. Now I am ending the poll.
Okay, thank
Yes,
you, ma'am.
sir. Yeah, yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Now see, our application is created. now we have to create first our design. So yes, madam have told about in Android we have activity. Every screen have two file. One is activity file where we have to code, and one is layout file where we have to design our application. So in layout file is built in a XML. So here what we have to do, just go in a XML part. By default, layout of Android Studio is constant layout. We have to change it. We are using linear layout for the this intent demo purpose. So change the layout by selecting. See, you have to select this text. Just type capital L. It will display one pop-up where you have to just press the enter, then it will change from starting tag of HTML and ending tag of the HTML. Then remove this text view. We don't need this text view. Now what we want to do, we want to move from one activity to another activity. When you want to move, whenever you click on a button, we have to move from the one activity to another activity. So for that we have to take one button in which we have to specify match parent, height is wrap content. Then we have to provide a title of this button. Just click, change the text size 30 dp. So in right hand side you see the one button is display. Above button I have take one text view. Before that, we have to specify orientation property that we discussed yesterday. Linear layout have two property, vertical and horizontal. If you select vertical, then all the control is displayed on a vertical format, side by side. So here I just write in text view main, or sorry, first activity. Change the size. Set the text alignment center. Set the text style bold. So we come to know that this is a first activity. So this is a label. So in label you have to use text view. So this is the first activity. Then we have button. So this is first the, also we have to give the ID because we want to use this button into our activity file. So we just give the ID button click. Okay. Now go to coding file. Now in design file we have two control. One is text view and one is button. So whenever user click on a button, we want to move from one activity to another activity. So for that we have to first take another activity, because whenever you create any project in Android Studio, it will display by default only one application or one activity. So to add one more activity, just select this package, right click, then select the new option, go to activity option and just click on empty activity. So this will add one more activity in this application, because whenever we create any project, empty project in Android Studio, it will display by default only one activity, one layout file. Here we want to move from one activity to another activity. So for that we have to add one more activity. So that's why we have to select package under the Java folder, right click, just select the option new and select the activity, and in activity we have to select empty activity. So in activity, you have to give the name of activity. So here we give second activity, and this is our layout file name. Then just click on finish. So it will take them some time to add this activity. Second activity is added in this project. Now you see, open the res folder. Res is a resource folder. In resource folder we have layout folder. In layout folder we have our design file. See, second design file is added. So now in this project we have two activity and two design file. So now we will design. This is our first activity design file. This is our second activity design file. So in second activity, we just write a message. Just change the layout same way, linear layout. Remove this. Just use the text view. Just type the match parent. Height is wrap content. Set the text property. Then this is a second activity. We can say set the size, text size. Set the alignment. We want to display the text in a center. Then text align center. Set the style, text style. We have bold, italic, and normal. Select the bold. Then we come to know that this is a second activity. And see, if you want to display this message in a center, then what we have to do? See, here you said layout width is match parent. Okay, so if I said wrap content, then what happen? Text view width will be changed. What happen? Whenever you use wrap content, it will occupy the width based on content. Content means here we write a second activity, so it is our content, so it will allocate the width up to the our content size. So here if you specify match parent, then it will occupy the full width to that text view control. Same way in height we have wrap content. If you specify here match parent, then it will increase the height to the full screen. Now we have, see, our text is displayed on the top of the text view. If you want to display in the center, then you have to use gravity. So gravity, in gravity you have to specify center. See, now our text is displayed on a middle of the layout file. So for that, first we have to increase our width and height to the screen. Then we have to use gravity property. What is the use of gravity property? Gravity property is used to set the content in the text view. If you specify here bottom, then our content will display on a bottom of the screen. But right now I want to display on a center. That's why I am using center. So this is our two design file. First is activity underscore main, where we have one text view and one button. Second is activity underscore second, where we have just one text view. Now design part is over. Now activity. Okay, first we have to write a code in a first activity, that is called main activity. So in main activity, you can see here one method, set content view. In set content view, r.layout. R.layout means this layout folder. This layout folder and file name is activity underscore main. That means you can see this is a design file or layout file of this main activity. So in this activity underscore main, we have two control. Now I want to use this button control into main activity. So for that, first step is give the ID to the control. Okay, whatever control you want to use in an activity file, first we have to give the ID to that control. So in design file we have already given the ID btn click. Okay, so now next step is create a object, create a relevant object of that control in the activity file. Okay, so here which control we want to use in an activity file? Button control. So we have to create a object, relevant object, that control that we taken in a layout file. So here I take button control. So here I have to create a object of button control. See, if I write here B, then button is not display in pop-up. So Android is a case sensitive. So whenever you type capital B, it will display a button in pop-up. So just create the object for, say for example, B1. So this is our second step. Third steps, bind with ID. Okay. So we have to bind this object with ID that is given in a design file. ID name is btn click. So we have to bind this object to that ID is given into the layout file. So for that we have to use one method, find view by ID. Okay, this method is used to fetch the ID from the layout file and set to the object. So to fetch the ID, we have to use r.id dot our ID name btn click. So now this B1 object is connected with this control. So you can use this B1 object to change anything into the coding. Now what do you want to do in design file? Whenever we click on this button, we want to move on a next activity. So for that we have to set listener. Okay, so button have on click listener, on click listener. So how to define listener? So you have to write, this is a syntax for defining the listener. You have to write B1 object of button, then dot, then write set on click listener. Okay, then just press enter, then just type a new keyword, then space, then control space. It will display again one pop-up where you have to select view dot on click listener and just press enter. So see, button have on click listener and this listener have one method on click. So first of all, what is listener? So listener is nothing but whenever you click on the button, a listener will call this method called on click. So listener is continue is in a waiting mode whether user click on that button. If user click on a button, then it will immediately inform the listener that you have to call on click method. So whatever you write code this inside this method, this code is run whenever you click on that button. So I again repeat this thing. How to set listener? Just type the object name B1, then set on click listener, then just press the enter, then type new keyword, space, control space, then just select view dot on click listener and press enter. it will automatically add one method on click. When this method is called, when you click on this button, this method is called. Is clear? So now we will define a button, we will set the listener. Now the turn of intent, we have to write intent for movement from one activity to another activity. So for that, here we have to create object of intent, then object name ob, then new, then intent. So intent have two parameters. First parameter is current activity in which right now you are working. So this is a current activity. Just type current activity name main activity dot this. Then comma. Second parameter is when you want to move. We want to move on a second activity. So in second parameter is your target activity name. So you have to write second activity dot class. Then just put semicolon. So here we create a one object called intent object called ob, and we pass two parameters. First is current activity name dot this. This is a standard syntax that we have to use in Android for the intent. And second parameter is second activity dot class. Then we have to just use one method start activity and pass the intent object. So what is the use of this method? Start activity method is call the intent and perform the action whatever we will provide in the parameter. Now I run this application in my mobile. So for that I have to use one software called Wi-Fi. In second activity, we don't have to write any code because we just move from one activity to another activity. Okay, it will display my mobile. Just click on view button. Meanwhile, I will run this application. Just click on this button. Once it will run, then it will display directly in my mobile. First time it will take 1 minute around to run this application.
So, sir, can we generate one poll up to this? It runs.
1 minute, sir. It runs.
Okay, okay.
Yes, it will run. See, first screen it will display that we will design in first activity. Okay. Whenever you click on this button, just click on button. It will display second activity. It will navigate from one activity to another activity that is called second activity. Clear? So this way you can use uh, intent for moving or navigate from one activity to another activity. Yes, ma'am, you can raise one poll.
Yeah, yeah, sir, I'm launching the poll. Yes, dear students, just try to give the answer of when a button is clicked, which listener we can use. Your poll will be on your screen. So just give the answer so we'll get you are getting us or not. Yes, just give your answer from the given option. Which button click, which listener we can use. Give your answer. Only the 7 voted. Yes. Just give your answer so we'll get the information. Are you getting the answer? Yes. Now I am ending the poll. Which one is the right answer? On click listener we can use. 78% give the true answer. Whenever we are clicking on the button, the on click listener we have to call. Okay, sir. Now you
Thank you,
can say,
ma'am.
yeah, thank you, sir.
So it's meant students are getting this point that we have to use on-click listener for the button. Okay. So now we use second use of the intent, that is how we can transfer the data between activities. Okay. Still now we will see how we can navigate from one activity to another activity, and next, if I have to transfer some data from one activity to another activity, then how I can do? And we will see in real practical. So for that, we have to just add one text box here, because whenever whatever user have write inside the text box, that data we have to pass to the second activity. So here I take one just simple text box. So for text box in Android we have edit text control. You have to type just capital E. It will display in a pop-up. You have to specify with match parent. Hide is wrap content. Just specify the hint. So we will come to know that what we have to enter in this text box. Just type enter your name. Okay. So user will come to know that what data we have to enter in this edit text. So now we have edit text. So now we have to use that edit text into this activity for fetching the data. So as I already told you, we have to perform 3 steps for using any control in the activity. So right now we have add one edit text control. So first step is give the ID to the control. So we have to set the ID into edit text ID. Just enter, just type txt name. So txt name is the ID of this edit text. Now the next step is create the relevant object of that control in the activity file. So for that we have to create again another object. This time is edit text. Just type T1 for edit text, The next step, bind with ID. So we have to bind this object with ID that is given into the layout file that is called txt_m. So this is a binding process, we can say binding process. Object name e1 t1 equal to, which method is used to bind with ID? Find view by ID. Then you have to just type r.id dot your ID name that you given into layout file txt name. So now you can use this t1 object and access that added text control into the activity file. Now see, I will comment this content, and whenever user click on a button, we want to display the data that is written in edit text that will display on a toast. Toast means you can see somewhere in application one simple pop-up is displayed in our mobile. So for that we have to use toast. In toast by default three parameter is there. First is context, means current activity name. Second is your message, and third is your time duration of that message. What we want to display, that whatever user written in text box that we have to display in a toast. So for that we have object t1. We want to fetch the data of text box. Then which method is used? Get text. Then we have to convert that data into to string. So what will return this statement? It will return the data that will return in a text box. And when toast is displayed, we have written that toast in a on click. Okay. So when toast is displayed, whenever you write anything in a text box and when you click on a button, it will display the message on that screen. So now I run my project. See, now we have text box. Okay. Here I write my name Chetan and just click on button. See, one message is displayed on the screen in the pop-up. If I write anything else like Hitesh, just click on button, it will display in a pop-up. So if you want to display this type of pop-up, then you have to use toast. Okay. So now you fetch the data of text view. But now what we have to do, we have to transfer that data that Hitesh into the next activity. So for that we have to use again intent. So I will comment this toast and uncomment this intent. Now see, if you want to transfer any data from one activity to another activity, then you have to use one method called put extra. So how you can set put extra method using the object of intent? Then you have to write ob.put extra. Put extra method have again two argument. First is key and second is what data you want to transfer. So here I write the data, for example, name, or you can write anything. This is a just name of the key. Now what data you want to pass? We want to pass the data that is written into the text view. So how we will fetch here? So t1 dot get text dot to string. That means what? Whenever we click on a button, it will initialize the object of intent and we use put extra method to pass the data that will return into the text box, and that data is accessed by a key, and the name of key is name. Clear? So this is all about from the first activity. Intent is prepared. Now we have to fetch the intent into the second activity, that is called second activity. Here we have one text view. We want to display the data that will return in a text view in that will return in a edit text in a first activity, that will display on a second activity this text view. Okay, so we have to again follow same rule. First
Chetan
we
sir,
have,
can I intervene?
yes,
Can I just
yes,
intervene? There is an announcement.
okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. To all the participants, please don't worry about any of the recording. You just focus on the course. Having a knowledge about the current course as a kind of awareness, as well as understanding where the world is actually developing, that is more important. So, as far as the technical aspects are concerned, please don't worry about it. Victoria University is there to guide you. So rest assured, just keep watching the video and have your full concentration on what the Professor Chetan Gondolia sir is actually addressing. So do not worry, you will receive everything. Just focus and enjoy the video. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, ma'am. So now we want to set the, or we want to display the this this text box data into the second text view control. So first step is, again I want to use this text view in the second activity. So for that, first step is I have to give the ID to that control. So how I can give? Just type the ID, press the enter, and just type your ID, txt message, you can say. Okay, and next step is create a relevant object of that control in the activity file. So this is my second activity where we want to display. See now art.layout, and this is a layout file, activity underscore second. That means this is our second activity where we want to display the data that will return in a first activity text box. So second step is create a relevant object. In second activity design file we have txt text view, and id is txt message. So here first I create the object of text view. You can create any object tt, say for example. Third step, bind with id. So which method is used? As you know, find view by id, then you have to type art.id and whatever id you given in a layout file. So id is txt message. So now this tt object is connected with this control. Okay, now this is a binding process, we can say. Now next we have to fetch the intent. Okay, because in main activity here we are sending the intent to the second activity. So in second activity we have to fetch the intent that will send by main activity.java file. So how we can fetch the intent? So for that one method is called use. First we have to create the object of intent, say for example ob.receiver, and we have to use one method called get intent. So this method is used to fetch the this method is used to to fetch the intent which is sent by first activity called main activity. Yeah, that means using this method you can fetch the intent that will send by main activity.java file. Clear? So now we have intent, so we can fetch the data that is sent from first activity called main activity.java. So for that we have to use one method ob.receiver dot get string extra. So this method is used to fetch the key or fetch the data that will available in the intent. So here we have to pass the key that will given into the first activity. So key name is name. So here you have to write just the key that will given in the first activity. But this method will return a string. So for that we have to create one string variable on left side to store it. So now what happened? We have fetched the intent, we have received the data that will available in name key and it will store into the s variable. Now we have data that will return in our first activity. So now we have to set that data into the text view. So text view we have object of tt. So we have to write just set text and just type s. So what happened? It will set the data that will store into the s. So here I write set the data to the text view of second activity. Here you can say fetch the key value from the intent. That's it. Now I run this application and we will see how we can display or how we can transfer the data of first activity to another activity. See, now I type here any name, for example, Chetan, and just click on a button. A Chetan will display on a next activity. See, if I again go back, change the data of text view with this, just click on a button, it will display the data that will return into the text box. Clear? But see, whenever you are using WhatsApp, if you remember here one back arrow is display. Whenever you click on any chat, like here I open a WhatsApp, and if I click here, here we have one arrow, back arrow. Using that back arrow, we move to the first activity. But here, see, there is no back arrow is available in second activity. We have to use mobile back key for that. So if we want to if you want to add that arrow, then how we can add? So that we will see. We have to use for that manifest file. As you know, manifest file is one type of setting file. Okay. See, this is a application tag. It will contain a different activity. Right now, how many activities available? This is the first activity and this is second activity. First activity name is main activity and second activity name is second activity. So here in second activity, you have to just use one parameter called parent activity name. And you have to just specify the parent activity of this second activity. So what is the parent activity of second activity? Main activity. That's it. Now I run this project and we will see again. I type again one message, anything. Say for example, Chetan. Just click on a button. See, one back arrow is display. So using this back arrow, we can move from parent activity. See, clear? So this way you can set a back arrow using parent activity name attributes. So now it's the time for poll 3 and 4. So I request Cyril ma'am to please raise poll 3.
Sure. Poll 4, I think, sir.
Ah, sir,
Yeah,
4.
yeah, yeah. I'm just launching. Uh, yes, you will get the screen. Which method is used to get the intent in second activity? Uh, Dear participants, please give your answer as per your understanding. Which method is used to get the intent in the second activity? Yes, give your answer so we can get the idea. Are you getting or not? Yes, 7 participants already gave the answer. Remaining, please give your answer. Which method is used to get the intent in second activity? Get string or get intent? Okay, sir, I am closing the poll.
Okay.
Yes. Which one is the right answer? Get intent. Okay. 57% give the right answer. Get intent is the right answer. This method is used to get the intent in your second activity. Okay, sir.
Yes.
Now I have to launch another poll also.
Yes.
Yes. Now this is your next poll. Yes, which method is used to transfer the data from one activity to another in Android? Just select your option from your screen. Which method we can use for moving the data from one activity to another activity? Put extra or get extra? Okay, the 7 only giving the answer. Please give your answer. So yes, now I am ending the poll. Which one is the right answer? 50-50. The participants given a 50-50% answer for put extra and get extra. For the data transferring from one activity to another, put extra is used. For fetching the data of first activity to into the second one, we have to use get extra. Okay, for passing the data, we have to use put extra. For fetching the data, we have to use get extra. Okay, now, sir,
Yes.
you can
Thank you, ma'am.
continue. Okay.
Okay. Now it's time to talk about third use of intent, that is broadcast a message. Okay. So I will show you how what is broadcast. First, we will see practically. Say for example, I open my Gmail application. See here, I select any content. For example, this content, and if I press on the share button, just share, see one pop-up is display. So what is broadcast? Whenever you sharing this type of content, then what happen? Android OS will broadcast this message to the all the application which are installed in your mobile, which are capable to receiving this type of message. Like you can send that message to WhatsApp, you can send that message to message application, messenger application. So these are the application which are able to receive this type of text data and transfer that data to the another person. So for example, if I transfer that selected text to the WhatsApp, and I transfer to this my contact, just click on a button. See, whatever we select, that data is transferred to the my selected contact. So that means what? If I select that content and just click on a share button, so Android OS will send one message or broadcast one message to all the applications which are installed in your mobile, that is capable to receiving that message. It will display in this pop-up. So now we will see practically that how we will send our own broadcast in our Android application. So for that, I close this project, create a new project. Just click on a start new Android project, select empty activity, give the name broadcast demo. Just click on a finish. So it will create another application project. Okay, now in design part, what we will do, just take one button quickly, just change the layout. As you already know, we have to use linear layout. Remove this text view. We use one button. Just pass with match parent height web content, then end the take. Set the title. Just click X size. Okay. So one button is there. So whenever I click on this button, we just broadcast a message to all the application that will install in my mobile. Okay, so how I can send my own broadcast to my Android operating system, that way we want to do. So I want to use this button in a activity file. So same way we have to follow this step. First is give the ID. So in button we have to give the ID btn click. Yeah. Second, create a relevant object of that control in the activity file. So open activity file. Here we have to create an object button b1. Next step, bind with id. Okay. So here you have to bind which method is used. Find view by id. And we have to write r.id, then whatever id we have given in layout file. Okay. Now when we want to send a broadcast, when user click on a button, so same way we have to set listener. So you know how to set listener. Just write a set on click listener, then new, the space, then control space, it will display pop-up, then click on a enter. So this method, again we have to use same method. When this method is when user click on a button. So here we have to write a code for broadcast. Write the code for the broadcast. Okay, so same way we have to use intent. So first step is create the intent object. Just give the name send intent equal to new intent. This time, this time we don't want to pass current activity and target activity because we don't want to move on the next activity. This time we want to use intent for broadcast. So first I have to create an object of intent. Then second, we have to set the action. These are the syntax that we have to use for the broadcast. See, we have to use action send action for the intent for the broadcasting. Second is put extra. Again, this time put extra message method is used to send the data or broadcast the data to the Android OS. So here we have to type a key intent dot extra text. This is a first argument. Second argument, what text data I want to transfer. So I just write a message that this is my text. Say for example, to said and semicolon. That means this message will broadcast into the Android OS. And last, we have to just set the content type. So set type method is used. In bracket, we have to pass text and plain text. That means we want to broadcast a simple text message. Then just use the same method to start the intent, start activity, and type the object of the intent. So this is a 5 line of code to create a one broadcast in our Android OS. I repeat again, first we have to create the object of intent, then we have to set the action of the intent. Action send action is used for broadcasting, and again we have to use put extra method for transferring the broadcast message, where we have to pass first parameter extra text and second parameter is your message. Then we have to just set the type of data that you want to broadcast and just start the intent. And now I run this there. So it will create one application where we have one button, and when user click on a button, it will broadcast one message to all the application that will able to receive this type of application. Sorry. I have to reconnect. I think so. Give me 2 minutes. I again have to click on view. See, my application is run broadcast demo. Just click on this button. See, it will display a pop-up that will display on a Gmail application that we see. See, now if I select, I want to share in Gmail. See, in body part, it will automatically write the message that will return here in extra text. Okay, and if I run again, just click on a button. This time I want to transfer in WhatsApp. Okay, just select the user, click on a button. See, so this way you can send the broadcast in Android OS. Okay, using intent. So this is all about intent. There are mainly three use. If you want to navigate, then you can navigate from one activity to another activity. You can transfer the data between activities and you can send a broadcast. Now next is list view. What is list view? I think list view is a view, one type of view which group a several items and display them in a vertical list. So I think you have a one contact application in your mobile where you see your contacts, different contacts in a scroll bar list. Every contact is displayed on a single row. Same way, if you are using a WhatsApp where we have a different our contact, where in every row one contact is display. Like left hand side one image is display, on the right hand side the name of contact is display. So list view is a one type of view where the data is displayed on a raw format, and the list view items are automatically inserted to the list using adapter that pull the content from a source such as array and database. That means whatever data we want to display on a list view, that data will provided by adapter. An adapter that data fetch the data from the data source like array and database. So list view in simple term you can say it is a one type of view which is used to display items in a vertical format in the list view control. But if you want to create this type of application, then we have to use three component. First is list view, second is data that we want to display in list view, and third is adapter. So first we will talk about what is adapter. What are the use of the adapter? So you see in the figure, adapter is a intermediator or a bridge between UI component and data source. So what adapter do? Adapter fetch the data from the data source and provide the data to the list view, and list view display the data that will provided by adapter. So it will help. See, in a simple term, you say adapter is a bridge between UI component and data source that help us to fill the data in UI component. Here, adapter is used in a different component. Like here, we are considered as a list view. You can also use in a spinner, grid view, or any control where we have a data that at that time we have to use adapter. So I think you are clear about adapter. What is the use of adapter? So now it's time for next poll. So I request Hiral ma'am
Yeah, yeah,
to.
sure. So, yes, yes. You will get the screen, which is the bridge between UI component and data source. Just give your answer, so we'll get the idea. Are you getting this or not? Yes, which is a bridge between UI component and data source, adapter, intent, or list view. Yes. 9 of you give an answer. Raise, please give your answer. Yes. Okay, now I am ending the poll. 100% true answer. Adapter is a bridge between UI component and data source. Now, sir, you can
Yes,
start.
thank you,
Hmm.
ma'am. Now, next is type of Android adapter that is available in Android. So these are the six types of adapter is available in Android. So first we talk about error adapter. So if you want to display, say in this example, in each row only one data is displayed. A data name is language name. So if you see in a only see if you want to display only single content in a single row of list view, then you have to use array adapter. But if you see in a WhatsApp, in each row we have a three or four data is available for every contact. For example, one icon of that image is display of that person. Then on the right side of that image icon, a name is display, and below the name, the our last message is display, and right hand side number of notification is display. That means in list view, if you want to display more than one data, one item in a single row, then you have to use custom simple adapter, sample adapter, custom array adapter, and base adapter. So these four adapters are used when you want to display a multiple item in a single row into list view. A different use for a different adapter. The simple adapter is an inbuilt adapter, where a base adapter is a custom adapter. Same, if you want to customize a simple adapter, then you have to use custom simple adapter. Okay, and last one is cursor adapter. So cursor adapter is used whenever you are dealing with the database. For say for example, if you want to fetch the data from the database and that data you want to display on a list view, then you have to use cursor adapter. So these are the use of the adapter. We have a six types of adapter. So depend on the requirement, we have to use a different adapter. I again repeat, if you want to display a single item in a list view, single content in the list view, then you have to use array adapter. If you want to display more than one item, more than one data in a single row of list view, then you have to use custom simple adapter, simple adapter, and custom array adapter and base adapter. And lastly, if you want to fetch the data from the database and you want to display the data to the list view, then you have to use cursor adapter. So these are the uses of different adapter. Now I request again Hiral ma'am to raise the next two poll.
Sure, sir. And now, yes. Uh, if you want to display a single item in list view, then which adapter is used in Android? So if I want to display a single item, then which adapter we can use with list view? Please give your answer. Simple adapter, array adapter, or base adapter? Because we have already discussed the different adapters with the uses. So for single item, which adapter we have to use? Only 6 have given the answer. Please remaining give your answer. Which adapter we can use for display the single item in list view? Okay, now I am ending the poll. For to display the single item, which adapter we can use? Our adapter we can use for display the single item. Okay, and now sir,
Next poll, ma'am.
yeah, yeah, next poll I am releasing. Yes. Which adapter is used to get the data from database? For manipulating the information from the database, which adapter we can use? You have option simple adapter, array adapter, cursor adapter or base adapter. For manipulating the data from the database, which adapter we can use? Only the 7 participants have given the answer. Please remain, give your answer from your screen by selecting the option as per your understanding. Which adapter we can use for getting the data from the database? Yes. Okay, now I am ending the poll. Okay, which one is right answer? You can utilize the cursor adapter for fetching the data from database. Okay, now,
Okay, thank
okay,
you,
so,
ma'am.
oh,
Now it's time for practical that how we can practically implement of list view demo where we want to display only single item in the list view. So for that we have to use three components. First we have to take a list view. Second we have to take a array adapter because array adapter is used when we want to display a single item in the list view. And last, we have to prepare a data, what type of data or what data we want to display into the list view. So let's do practice for this list view demo. So I again close this project, again create a new under studio application. Just give the name simple list view demo. Just click on finish button. It will create another application. For list view demo, I have to use three things. Uh, List view, first I have to take list view in XML file. Okay, so now my project is created. Go to design file, click on a code, change the layout. This time we want to use list view. So we have to select list view, remove the text view, go in a design. See, in design we have a look like a list view. Okay, so this is all about design part. Second part is, first we have to use this list view in our activity file. So for that we have to follow again this step, give the id to the control. So for that I give the id here, id, enter, then lst. So lst is a id name of list view. Now next step is create a relevant object of that control in the activity file. So in activity file we have to create a relevant object. This time not a button, not a edit text, not a text view. This time we have to use list view object and just give the name list view. Okay, next step is bind with id. So in on create method we have to bind with id, that id which is given in layout file. So which method is used? Find view by id. To bind with id r dot id dot lst. So lst is a id which is given in a design file or layout file. So this is, you can say, binding process. Okay, so now next component is array adapter. So we have to create a object of array adapter here, array adapter. We give the name array adapter here. The next component is data. Data means what type of data you want to display in a list view. So here I preparing a data, preparing data for the list view. For the adapter, you can say array adapter. So I create one simple string array, say for example language name, and bracket equal to, then starting curly bracket and ending curly bracket and semicolon. So here I just give the name of any language or any IT field name, like say for example Android is not a language, but I just written Android is a OS. Then iPhone, then you can say Java, then PHP is a language, then .NET, then Python, then R is a language, then SQL, then Oracle. So you can give as much you want to display on a list view. So this is my data, the data I want to display on a list view. This is my adapter. This is my list view. Now we have to initialize the object of array adapter by passing this data. Okay, so here we have to use object of array adapter equal to new, then array adapter. We have to pass three argument here for array adapter. Array adapter, we have to pass three argument. First is context, second is design file, third is data. So context means current activity. So for that you have to write main activity dot this. Second parameter is design file. Design file, we have to use inbuilt design file. So for that you have to use r dot layout dot support simple spinner drop down item. This is a inbuilt design file. Right now we are using for a demo purpose. Just select that design file, and third parameter is our data. So our data is stored into this string variable, string array object. The name is language name, and just put semicolon. So this is initialize the object of the array adapter. Okay, now the last step, set the adapter, set the adapter to the list view. So our list view object name is list view. Just use list view, then one method set adapter, then just pass the object of array adapter. So object of array adapter is array adapter. That's it. Just 3 or 5 line code for displaying a simple item, single item in a list view. So I just run my project. Here I select my device. Okay, then just click on a run button. It will take 1 minute, I think. So meanwhile, I just repeat. First, we have to prepare our design file, uh, create one list view. Okay, simple. Then next, give the ID. Then create a relevant object that of list view. Then bind with ID, whatever ID we will given in a layout file. The next step is create the object of array adapter. Then we have to prepare a data, the data which we want to display in an array adapter. Next, initialize the object of array adapter. So for that we have to pass a three argument. First is context, second is design file, and third is data. So for that context, we have to pass our current activity dot this. Then this is an inbuilt design file that we have to use for displaying a data. At last, what data? Our data object name, that is language name. Lastly, we have to set the adapter to the list view. So what is the object of list view? List view dot set adapter. It is a method which is used to set the adapter. Just pass the name of object of array adapter. Now see, our project is run. We will display a different item in a list view. See, but it will display on the left side. So if you want to customize this design, if you want to set a font size, or if you want to increase the font size of this data, then we will not able to do, because here we are using the inbuilt design file. That's why we are not able to change the layout, change the color of the font, or whatever we want to do. So for that, if you want to do that type of changes, then we have to take our own custom design file for each row. So for that, I have taken just our row design file for list view. So for that, I just right click on layout folder, just click on a new. Then we have XML option. Inside XML, we have to select layout XML file. Just give the name layout underscore row. Just click on finish button. So it will add one design file. That design file we have to use for list view. So here we remove this linear layout. We just want to use one text view, because here we want to display only one item. That's why I set a property layout width is match parent, then layout height is wrap content. Okay, so this is a simple text view that will taken for a list view row file. So here I can change my text size, for example 25 dp. Now I just change the design file. Here instead of inbuilt, I have create my own file that is called layout underscore row. In layout underscore row, where I have taken only one text view, because this time we want to display only single item. That's why. Now I just run my application and see the changes. What type of changes will display in a layout. See, font size is increased. Okay. Now, if you want to display the data in a center, then we can do. We have to just use which property? Text alignment property and center, and again run. See, that means when we use our own custom row file, then we have our control. We can change the layout of particular control. Clear? Now, for example, in list view, we want to change the height. Then we have to go in a activity main design file where we have one property divider height, where we specify the height of each row. Just specify the divider height is a it is a divider means every row border height. So we just specify 5 dp and set the color, inbuilt color accent, and now I run. So this property is used to specify the height of each row, height of the border, and this property is used to set the border color. Now if I run, see, this way you can change the layout as per your requirement. Now the last topic is if I click here, then I want to display the data into toast. Okay, so for that again we have to use listener, because we are clicking on each row of list view. At the button time we are using on click listener. Here we have list view, then we have to use different listener. So how we can do, whenever you click here, we want to display that the data into the toast. So just we have to use a listener of list view. Then we have to use the object of list view dot set on item click listener. So this listener is used whenever for handling the event or click of the each row of the list view. So just paste the new control space, then on click item listener and press the enter. So here we have one method on item click. When this method is called, when you click on this any row of this list view, like say for example, if I click on Python, so it will call. If I click on PHP, then it will called. Means whenever you click on any row of list view, it at that time that on item click method is called. And here I just write the toast, where three parameter is used. First is context, second is data, what type of data you want to display, our data is language name, and see here we have one parameter position. So what position is written, for example, if I click on Android, then position return 0. If I click on a PHP, then it will return on a 3. So it will return the array index of selected item. So here I just use the my data, that is array, and in array I just use the position. So what happened, whenever I click on a any item, for example, if I click on iPhone, then position is 1. So here 1 is putted, so language list dot 1, that means it will return a iPhone. Same way, if I click on Java, so Java in position, it will return 2. So here put 2 is putted, so language name is a string array, position is 2, so it will display Java. So let's run this and check whether it will display or not. So I just click on any item. See, relevant data is displayed on a toast. Same way. Clear? So this way you can handle a listener by using a on item click method and display the relevant data to the toast. So this is all about this practical where we have to display a single item in list view. Now, if you have any query, then you can ask. And lastly, we can discuss about the content of this course. So before that, you can ask if you have any query, or you can write in chat window. So we can try to solve out it. So all students are requested. If you have any query, then please write on chat window. Then we can discuss and we try to solve out it. Hiral ma'am, can
Yeah,
you
yeah,
please verify your chat window?
yeah. It's open. Yes, just write whatever queries you have in your mind. So we'll try to solve it. From a first sight, you will not get the entire stuff, but by adopting this course, you will get insights and detailed knowledge of advanced Android development. The basic requirement, you must have to know the basic Android.
So we are having one of the question of Mara. He's asking how many days this course will take.
The for days, working days, it will require 120 days for completing this type of advanced level course, and every day we have a 2 hours lectures.
So, Mara, this is basically whenever these kind of skill enhancement courses we talk about, these are on number of hours. So, like in advanced Android application, one is like a basic level, and once you are through with basic level, we move towards the advanced level. So, the basic level is, I guess, if I'm not wrong, Hiril ma'am, it's a 60-hour course, right?
Yeah, it's a 60
And
hours.
yes, and the advanced level is 120 hours, right, sir?
Yes, yes.
Right, right.
Yes. So on number of hours is something which you can actually decide on. And I would just request Chetan sir if he could just give a brief and just about the entire recap of what sir has taught. And then sir will talk about this course in detail, sharing the contents of the course as well.
Uh,
Please.
just a minute, sir. No any assignment after this session.
Sorry, ma'am.
One will ask
Yes.
here,
So
they
there
have
are
any assignment?
yes. So, in case of the, if you are taking, so this was basically a webinar which is important to create an awareness as well as important to create a gist of what the entire program actually looks about. The entire course has a number of assignments, has series of reading materials, has a number of hands-on training as well as practical experiences. So it's complete set which you will be getting once you get enrolled in the course.
Yes, all the materials you will get after the enrollment.
So, is there any query, ma'am?
No, no, sir. Just give
Okay,
the overview
okay.
and yes.
So, if we talk about the content of this advanced level Android application development,
We can have
so
your
we,
video on. We can have your video on now.
okay.
Yes, sir.
If we talk about our advanced level Android application course, then this course will start from the basic overview of Android, where we have a different exposure of basic Android development. Then we will move on a advanced layout, like in every famous application. Right now, they are using a different layout, like a drawer layout. If you are using a Play Store or YouTube, where we have a top button, 3 lines, where we just click, one drawer is open. So same with drawer layout, then coordinated layout, then grid view layout, that we have to use right now in our advanced level concept. Next, we will focus on material design. So material design, in that we will talk about floating button, then snack bar, then toolbar, then important is card layouts. So right now, the WhatsApp and all the list view type of application are using a card layout, not a list view, because this is a advanced layout of the list view. So we will discuss card view, then tab layout. If you see in a WhatsApp, we have a 3 tab. So how we can create that type of layout in our own application? So for that we have to discuss in a material design unit. Next is what working with SQLite database and other storage, where we have a practical exposure on database operation like CRUD operation, how we will fetch the data from the database, insert the data to the database, and how we can manipulate the database. That we will discuss in Unit 4. In Unit 5, we have exposure of web service and web API, because nowadays in every application are using a web service for fetching the data, parse the data, and then display the data into the mobile. So we have different parsing methods available, different libraries available like Holy and Retrofit. So this latest library we have to discuss in this web service creation, that how we can create our own web service, how we can pass that web service in our mobile to display the data. And next part is notification and provider, where we have to use a Firebase notification. If you want to send a notification to all the user, that user is install your application, then you have to use notification. For provider, we have a broadcast sender and broadcast receiver. At last, we have in 7 unit, we have exposure of publishing and advertisement, where we have discussed how we can upload our own application in Play Store. Then we can how we can integrate a advertisement. If you see in application, there is a same different type of advertises display like banner and full screen. So if you want to integrate that type of advertisement in your application, then we have exposure in 7 unit. And you can also earn the money, because right now if you develop any emerging topic and if you upload that application in Play Store, okay, and if that application is become famous, and if you add the advertisement, then you can also earn the money, because right now most of application are earning the money from the advertise. At last, in last unit, we have exposure of practical live project working. We have parallel working on any live project that you have to complete at the end of this course. So this is all about the detailed content of advanced Android application development course. Okay, ma'am,
Great, great, sir. Thank you so much.
welcome.
So we can, okay, we can keep the screen for some more time so the students view it. Um, yeah. So for any further details on sir, can we have this one slide share?
Which one?
Yes, the presentations. This slide share. Yeah, yes. Okay, thank you. So, for further details in this course, so you are requested to contact Miss Christine. So, Christine is also there. Right, Christine?
Yes, yes, I'm here.
Yes. So, I'm saying for all the students that if they are interested in the course, then they can actually contact you.
Exactly.
Yes. So Christine ma'am will be the right person to even guide you for all the course. We are really looking forward to work with Victoria University and contact madam for more information. That could be done. Definitely, that could be done. I would request Hiral ma'am to also just if you could turn on your video. Chetan sir, you can stop sharing the video.
Okay.
Yes, sir has to stop sharing. Yes. Chetan sir, if you could turn on your video as well. Christine, if you could also turn on your video, completely depending upon the internet available at your end. So Mara, don't worry. You need to contact Christine ma'am for further details of the course. And Maulik bhai, we can have a screenshot. Please let us know once you have done.
Yes, ma'am, done.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, so it's really being a very interesting session, and we are looking forward. Um, so I was actually trying to address all the technical issues which were actually going on. I was continuously in line with Christine as well. So I just want you to, even if you are having any more issue, let us know, because we want this information and this knowledge to be imparted, and so that you actually can take the maximum benefit as well as use of these kind of emerging as well as latest technologies. Thank you so much for joining us today in the session of advanced Android applications. I take this opportunity to really thank both of our professors and team of Ganpat University for constantly helping the students and making them aware of this latest technology, which students can really take an advantage and help and even nurture their professional career accordingly. Thank you so much.